half boy, half god, all Apollo. You're listening to Ranking Rick Riordan, a podcast about Percy Jackson and the whole wide rest of the Riordanverse. I'm Dan.
I'm Olga.
And I'm Clara, and today we are ranking the Trials of Apollo and the whole wide rest of the Riordanverse.
Let's be frank, it's time to rank. This one's good, but that one stank. Ranking Rick Riordan.
Ooh.
That was a really sophisticated version, Dan.
Real jazzy.
Ooh.
All right, so I'm going to explain how ranking is happening. So for each section, like Best Hero, Best God, we are first doing the Apollo edition, where we're just ranking within the Apollo verse, and then we're going to jump right into Best Hero overall throughout the Riordanverse. So to start, we have Best Hero from Apollo. So we have Crest, Lit, Emmy, Josephine, Raina, Hazel, Calypso, Lavinia, Grover, Jason, Meg, Frank, Piper, Apollo. And I nominated Lou, Rachel, Nico, Will, and then I said move Meg, ?
Yeah.
I think
Move
we
Meg,
absolutely
period.
move
Exclamation
Meg.
point.
Yeah. Yeah, moving Meg is like the number one.
Where do you put her at number 2?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
I think she
I
deserves
don't
it
know-
at this point.
I don't know that I would, but I'm
Would
okay
you
Yeah, but
with
you
that.
love Piper.
Well, but I also think that Frank was very, very heroic.
Yeah,
If we're keeping that piece of it.
Yeah, but so
yeah.
was Meg.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Meg
for,
had more to lose.
for the Apollo list, I'm perfect. I think it makes sense to have
Oh,
Meg
yeah,
be
yeah,
number
yeah.
2.
Okay.
For the overall list, I'll feel differently, but
Yeah.
all right. Do we want to talk about Lou?
I think Lou deserves to be on the list. I think she
Me too.
deserves to be above Hazel?
I
Above
was-
Lavinia?
I was gonna say above Grover.
Me too. I was going to put
Okay.
her between Grover and Jason. Again,
Yeah.
she gave up so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And she also, like, to me, was one of, like, she was a highlight of that book.
Yes,
she was,
yeah.
like, the one real new character, whereas everybody else was, like, returning and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Well, and again, it's the factor of like she has a lot of ground to make up for
Yeah.
enabling Nero, and
Yeah.
she redeems herself, and
Yeah.
you know,
where do we want to put Nico?
this is a tricky one.
This is really hard. I would say
I think first we should move Lavinia under Calypso.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think we were being
why was
very
she
generous
up so high? I think we
Because-
should move her like up.
Well, she was very heroic. She saved the whole camp.
Because in the
Whatever.
background,
Let's put her below Emmy.
no,
Whoa, no.
no, she,
Let's put her right above Hazel
yeah. Why is Hazel so high?
because she also saved everybody.
Yeah,
Why
I
are
don't
Emmy
know.
and Josephine so low?
Because they weren't, like,
they
heroic.
were like
Yeah, you're right.
important,
Heroes.
Yeah.
and
I
they
need
were
to remember.
Yeah. We have the meaning of like heroes as in side characters and heroes as in heroic people.
It's a combo
Yeah.
of the both.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've moved that, I think that we should put Nico under Calypso.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay.
Ugh, pains me.
I know,
need to
it's-
remember this isn't like the overall.
And then actually, I think we should put Rachel under Nico.
Yes.
Interesting that okay. I don't necessarily agree with that. Why would you put Rachel so high?
So high?
Yeah.
Because she's like the leader of the Tower of Nero, kind
That's
of.
fair. Okay,
yeah,
that's
and she's
true. Yeah,
she's immortal.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think she's very, very good in that book.
Okay, what about Will?
I don't think he deserves to be on the list. And if he does,
Really?
it's the last one on the list.
He doesn't have a lot of individual like stuff.
He's Nico's sidekick right now. I hope that
Yeah.
that changes, but
Like,
you're right.
Crest-
you're right.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Crest-
I mean-
Crest does
Crest dies.
more.
Yeah.
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 I guess Will does have his like, I am not letting my boyfriend get in trouble. I'm glowing now, and it just honestly that also kind of read like fanfic to me. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's also like Will in terms of a side character, he's good.
yeah.
And again, his relationship as like Apollo's son, but also questmate, like
Yeah.
is interesting, but he falls a little short on the like heroic.
Yeah,
front.
especially because like, so he disappears and then he reappears with Rachel and Lou, and I'm like, so what did Will actually do?
Yeah.
Like, what was Will's point in there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
good
I'm
for
fine. Yeah.
conversations with Apollo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I will read. This is the Best Hero Apollo edition. Will, Crest, Lit, Emmy, Josephine, Raina, Hazel, Lavinia, Rachel, Nico, Calypso, Grover, Luguizella, Jason, Frank, Piper, Meg, Apollo. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the real tumultuous
Oh,
zone.
God, this hurts my brain.
Best hero overall. At number 10, we have Hazel, then Carter, then Raina, then Frank, then Piper, then Nico, then Leo, then Sadie, then Annabeth, then Percy.
So we have no Trials of Apollo folks on
Yes.
here at all. And as some may remember / have noticed, that Jason fell off of the top 10.
Yeah.
He's coming back on.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. All right. So let's start. Let's start by adding people and then rearranging.
Mhm.
I would say.
Okay.
So I think we put Apollo at number 1.
Yeah.
We all agree on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that bumps off Hazel.
Oh, jeez.
And then we have to put Meg, so that bumps off Carter.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not great.
And we'll figure out where Meg goes, but
Well,
also,
okay, hold on.
Okay.
For my boy, for Carter.
Yeah.
I don't know if Raina is still that high for me.
That I was actually thinking the
Okay.
same thing,
All
where
right.
where it was a problem of like
Yep.
Raina got downgraded by nature of her motivations and
I'm on board with Carter being number 10
Okay.
yeah.
because I don't think we need to add anybody else from Apollo.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like Luguizella, but she's not better than any of these other people.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
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 Oh, well, we need to add Jason.
Oh yeah. Oh,
So I think
Crud.
it's Jason versus Carter.
Carter.
No, it's always going to be Jason versus
No,
Carter.
It's Jason. It's also best hero, and Jason
No, you're
died.
right. Jason. Yeah.
I think Jason's number 10. And
Yeah.
Carter was knocked off.
Yeah. I guess that's fair. Does Frank go up? Does
Yes.
Piper go up? Both
Yes.
of them should be.
Mhm,
Well,
they
but
both
then
go up.
Nico. Yeah. So does Leo go down?
Yes.
Yeah. Do we switch Leo and
well,
Frank?
first, okay. Why don't we start at best and go backwards?
Yeah, I
okay,
agree.
that's why I'm
So,
asking where
What-
Meg goes.
Well, she's not second, so I'm saying
No.
who is second?
Percy.
I still think Sadie, but okay.
Okay, wait, let me really think about this. Damn.
Percy does not get downgraded by Trials of Apollo.
But this is us also reevaluating this list.
I know.
I-
And I feel very safe with my evaluation of
I
Percy.
mean-
Let's switch Sadie and Annabeth, Dan, as
Yeah.
a compromise.
I would
Okay.
be down for that.
I'd be down for that, but I also don't know that Annabeth is better than Piper and Leo and Frank.
No.
I think Piper has overcome Annabeth.
I agree that Piper has now moved over Annabeth, but I don't think
Really?
that Leo and has gone over Annabeth.
Well, why don't we put Piper over Leo right now? We'll put her right under Annabeth.
How do you feel about that, Clara?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
All right.
Now, okay. So, and then are we still going Leo here? Or maybe Frank or Meg?
I was thinking Meg.
I don't know. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I think Meg was willing to sacrifice not just her life, but sacrifice her lifestyle and like everything about her life and her family relationships and all these things in order to try to be a better person. And I just feel like that should really count.
Meg had to overcome indoctrination and abuse.
I have to remember this is not my favorite character list.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it is also, in addition to being best hero, it's also best written character. And Meg had an arc that was complex and had a lot of complex things going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I think then we maybe go Frank then Leo.
That's what I've been. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you okay with where Nico is?
Yeah, I am.
Wait, when you said Frank and Leo, do you mean Frank below
Frank
Meg?
above. I'm saying Frank
Oh,
below
Frank
Meg.
above.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
I think we're being a little mean to Leo, but it's
I-
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Because, yeah.
I agree. The problem is Leo was like just as heroic or as good as he was in Heroes of Olympus. Like I don't necessarily feel like Leo did had enough screen time to warrant him getting to move up, whereas Piper and Frank.
But at this point, for these characters, we are looking at just their entire spectrum throughout all of the
correct,
series.
Which is why I'm saying he doesn't get a bump the way that other people get
a bump. But he also doesn't get bumped down, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he's going to get bumped down because other people are getting bumped up. Yeah. We're not bumping him down because he did. No one on this list is, and in any, there is no worst here. Like, this is. Well, it was creme de la creme before, but like,
I'm actually thinking about this, and I think that Nico should go over Frank. I think if we're looking at Nico throughout the entire series, he has one of the best arcs, and there's definitely, to me, there's an argument that he's number 2, but I'm not making that argument.
Can you make that argument for me?
I mean, think about where he starts as this like legitimately little kid who gets angry and hurt by his sister and by Percy, who goes on this like weird vengeance thing with a evil ghost, and then is like stuck in a jar for years or whatever.
You know what, Dan, you convinced me. I think he should go between Annabeth and Sadie.
Ooh.
Here's the thing. I still think Meg's trauma journey might be better written than Nico's.
Who has the better trauma journey, Nico or Meg?
Okay. I could put him under Piper. How do we feel about that?
I think I'm inclined to agree.
Okay.
I think that...
No, you know what? Let's do it between Frank and Meg.
Okay.
Okay. The thing is, when I think of individual scenes, each one is like, Meg has this, and Nico has that, and then this, and then that. It's...
But Meg is a main character, and Nico at this point is still a side character, and he's, I would say, he has the strongest
side character.
You know what? I think Annabeth is too high.
I
agree with you people.
Yeah. You saying that, Clara, of
Annabeth
like,
over Frank.
Characters.
Annabeth over Frank.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And then are we putting number 10 as Jason, or are we putting him...
Poopers.
This is so upsetting.
I think Jason's number 10.
I think you.
Or Hazel. We could also talk about that.
No.
Okay.
Well, so we were talking about people getting downgraded, and it's like, unfortunately, Raina and Hazel do get downgraded because they just don't get enough, like, interesting or, like, logical hero stuff to be in the top 10. This isn't to say they're bad heroes.
I mean, at this point, Leo is number 9, and I think he's one of the best characters in the thing, so I don't feel bad about knocking off Hazel.
That's fair. Raina. I'm just saying, I want to be clear about...
Carter is so good.
Jason, I'm saying Jason.
I think you're right, but
it has to be
okay.
Jason.
But here's the thing: it's Jason because he dies, which sucks.
But I also think
because
it's Jason. I also think if we take Apollo out of it, obviously this contradicts what we did last time. But if we take Apollo out of it, I still think Jason's better than Carter. I think he has more of a journey throughout Heroes of Olympus than Carter has throughout King Chronicles. I feel like Carter's journey is the first book, and then he's just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, probably.
Carter's hero journey really is about, in 2 and 3, about like rescuing Zia and working to stop the end of the world, which is like noble, but
it's truly the exact same thing that happens with Jason, except that Jason gets 5.5 books and Carter gets 3. And if you had stopped Jason after 3 books, it would have been, it's much worse than Carter.
Yeah. Here, I guess my thing is Jason deciding to become a priest is more interesting than any development that happens with Carter in my mind. Even though I would say Carter is more consistent, but he also is consistent over a shorter period. So
I think that Carter is overall just like more of a character, even if he has less of a, like, you could say, I agree. Carter is more of a character, more of a person than I feel like Jason is.
Right.
If you want to put Carter last, I'm not gonna be upset about this?
How about this? Apollo's a god again. He's only ranked on the gods.
I can't agree with that.
I know. Neither can I. I knew what I was saying was wrong and bad and dumb.
All right, let's pick Carter. I mean, the thing is, we're arguing about something that doesn't really matter because at least one Magnus Chase person's going to make it off this list. So
I forgot about
Carter's
Magnus
get
Chase
knocked
having
off anyway.
to. Gosh darn it, this stinks. Why did we set ourselves up for this?
I know. This is really sad. Maybe it should be 15.
I love that you guys.
We won't be able to stick to 15 with Magnus.
No, we're doing top 10.
We won't be able to stick to 15 with Magnus.
No, we're doing top 10. Also, I love that you guys had Annabeth at number 2, and now she's like number 6.
I know.
All right. I will read the new overall best hero
Wait, you
list.
put Jason on here? I thought we were putting Carter.
Yeah, I thought we were putting Carter too.
Yeah, sorry. It was my brain like literally won't let me choose between them. Because I had Carter and I was like, it's changing.
Do you
Like,
want to
womp
tie
womp.
Carter and Jason for
I
number
do.
10?
I really do.
All right, let's do it,
They'll
Carter.
both fall off the list anyway.
So right
It's
now
all-
we'll put them as tied for number 10.
It's our podcast. We make the rules.
Yeah.
They can pull a Wanubis and
Yes. Oh my God.
and be Jarster
Oh
or
my
something.
God.
Jarster.
At number 10, Carter/Jason, Leo, Frank, Annabeth, Nico, Meg, Piper, Sadie, Percy, Apollo. I'm pretty happy with that list.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Catch me on a different day and it's a completely
Yeah.
different list. But yeah.
Yep.
I'm
All
not
right.
looking forward to the book reading, you guys.
All right. Best God Apollo edition. We have Rhea, Terminus, Lupa, Britamartis, Diana, Helios, Hippocrates, and Apollo. Nominees, Mr. D, Styx, and Artemis. Let's just start with Mr. D. Where do you want to put him?
Right below Apollo, and I wonder whether Apollo we've been talking about this a lot.
Yeah.
It feels weird to have him as the top god here, but I guess he is literally a god in this book.
Well, and
again.
he's gonna end up going on the overall best gods list anyway.
Yeah,
so.
and it feels really unfair, but that's
Yeah.
all right. This is unfair. Life is unfair. That's what we learned. That's what we learned in Tower of Nero.
Yeah.
Life is unfair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna suggest Mr. D goes under Hippocrates.
Why
Really?
so high?
I think he's above Hippocrates.
Why so high? What? Where is this
I
coming
liked
from?
him in Tower of Nero, but I think
Me too.
Hippocrates had a very like emotional, moving, powerful scene that I don't think Mr.
Yeah.
D had anything close
Yeah.
to that.
That's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Neither he doesn't even have anything as emotionally important as Helios.
But I still liked him a lot.
Okay.
I
fine.
think his
Yeah.
connection with Apollo was very interesting.
Fair enough.
Where do we want to put Styx?
The bottom.
Okay. I'm okay. I wouldn't have
No,
done
you know
that,
what?
but I'm okay with
yeah,
it.
I don't know.
We're moving
I feel like
along.
she should. I feel like she should go above Rhea, but I don't care.
It's fine at the bottom.
Life isn't fair.
Yeah.
Where does Artemis go?
Above
Slash-
Diana.
I was gonna say / Diana.
I would say Artemis goes over Helios. Actually,
Okay.
no. I would say Artemis goes above Mr. D.
Okay, I'm
All
fine
right.
with
Yeah.
any of that.
Yeah.
I would like to nominate Hera,
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
and I would put her. I would put her above Diana.
That's what I was thinking.
I still think Britamartis should be over Diana. Diana has like half
yeah,
a scene.
I
Yeah.
think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right. Styx, Rhea, Terminus, Lupa, Diana, Britamartis, Hera, Helios, Mr. D, Artemis, Hippocrates, and Apollo. Best god overall.
Ah!
Number 10, Artemis. Athena, Mars, Bast, Mr. D, Hermes, Set, Juno, Hades, Bess. All right, so we're clearly putting Apollo on this list.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we need to put anybody else.
I think we
might
move
just
Artemis up.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I think
Yeah.
that we
I think we knock Athena off the list.
yeah.
Yep.
And I think we put Artemis over Mars.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Apollo's the only other thing I would change.
Apollo's number 1, I assume.
I still think Bess deserves to be number 1.
I think Bess is
as a
number 1
god.
too. Me too.
Like Apollo as a hero versus Apollo as a god. Like
all right, we'll put
yeah.
Apollo number 2.
I think he's yeah. Go.
We
All right.
haven't seen him prove himself. He made a vow and we hope he can keep it. But
Yeah.
we haven't seen him prove himself. And Bess proved himself over and over and over and over again.
Like we believe that Apollo will be a better god.
I
And
still
he's tragic
feel like
as a god, but
I still feel like when you're talking about like godliness, right? Like Apollo had a moment in every book where he's like, I'm the reigning god of the sun.
You're right.
Like-
Shoot. Okay, I'm with you, Dan. I'm with you.
But
Bess was a minor god who had major influence, and,
And
he
he
had
was-
less opportunities.
he was also the god of the people. So
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Okay, let's stick with this. We have Apollo as number 1 for the hero. So
And again, I'm assuming we're gonna have more gods from like
yeah,
Magnus Chase
Yeah.
and Asgardians that are going to help us reevaluate if we so choose.
All right, here's our list. Best god overall: Mars, Artemis, Bast, Mr. D, Hermes, Set, Juno, Hades, Apollo, Bes.
Best list. Haha.
Haha.
Honestly, the list that I like have the least contentious feelings about. Because I feel like just the top 5 is all I really care about in that list.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, best baddie Apollo edition: Trophonius, Tarquin, Nero, Medea, Zeus, Caligula, and Commodus. Nominees: Python, Move Nero.
Put Python
Last.
above Tarquin.
Last.
I think that above Tarquin makes sense.
Trophonius is much more interesting of a character than Python.
Yeah, but Python, how about when Python is like speaking through Rachel? Like there's some interesting, Python didn't have to be anything, and he
But
was
he's-
something.
But he's okay. I would say move Trophonius up and then put Python and then put Tarquin last.
I agree.
Fair
I
enough.
agree.
I
Okay.
agree. Yeah,
All
this
right.
helps to reevaluate that
Yeah.
Tarquin was too high. And
Yeah, I mean,
in
I
terms
like
of
Tarquin, but honestly, this series has the best villains by far. Like,
Yeah.
Tarquin's last, and I still think Tarquin's pretty good.
yes.
So,
Yeah.
like, all right, where are we moving Nero?
Ay,
I would put him number 1.
Me too.
yeah.
Okay.
I think there's more like, I mean, he's number 1 because of his like Meg connection,
Yeah.
but Commodus is like the worst villain for Apollo.
Yeah,
But,
but I also
yeah.
think Nero's
stakes of Nero.
ability to manipulate people and
Yeah.
the intensity of his scenes in the
Yes.
in the
No,
last
you're
book.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
All right, so that list is Tarquin, Python, Trophonius, Medea, Zeus, Caligula, Commodus, Nero. Are we happy with Zeus being there?
I just think
Yes.
the triumvirate
Okay.
has to be in the top 3,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though like Zeus is the worst
Yeah.
overall
Yeah.
in my heart.
And that's, I think, my main change to best baddie overall.
All right, best baddie overall, starting with Keone, Menshikov, Hans, Apophis, Arachne, Octavian, Set, Orion, Luke, Setne.
Man.
All right, I want to really
Yeah,
mess
we
up
really
this
need
list.
to shake this up.
I
First of all, I think that
think we should cut everything after Arachne.
exactly. Well,
Yep,
including
me too.
Arachne?
No, I don't want to.
Oh.
Not including.
I like
Oh, okay.
I like Arachne.
Yeah.
All right, I'm with you.
And this is good because this gives us the triumvirate and Zeus.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I still don't
mean-
think Zeus should be on the list, but
No, he deserves it.
He
All
deserves
right.
it. He's a head. and he
This
ruins
is a
people's
PG
lives.
podcast.
All right.
Sorry, he's
he's a butt monkey.
he's a real piece of work.
All right, let's put Zeus at number 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
fine.
right.
Yeah, below a giant spider. How does that make you feel, jerk?
All right, where do we want to put Nero? I'm going to argue for number 1.
I was going to
Me
say,
too.
I think we copy and paste our top 3 from Apollo and just plop it onto this list.
Me too.
I think we do minus Caligula.
Huh.
Really?
I think Caligula goes over Orion.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to actually
You think-
consider downgrading Luke a little
Luke
bit.
is a much
No,
more
Luke is-
complex character
All right.
than
Yeah.
Caligula.
All right.
Yep.
Sure.
I'm really good with this, Dan.
I think this is a good list.
Yeah.
Any last words?
No.
That
All
was
right.
so ominous, Dan.
It is for the best baddie.
All right.
Yeah.
Zeus, Arachne, Octavian, Set, Orion, Caligula, Luke, Setne, Commodus, Nero. You know what? Caligula should go lower.
No.
Caligula should go after Arachne.
No.
Octavian and Set are better characters than Caligula.
Yeah, but Caligula does more bad things. He kills Jason. It's a really traumatic scene. Octavian doesn't have a scene where I'm like, I'm scared of Octavian.
All right. Can we move Set above him, though? Set's a better villain than Caligula.
But Caligula is more intimidating.
Yeah, I'm
'Cause
scared
he's more
of Caligula.
psychotic.
For
Yeah.
one book, and then he's like really lame in the next book.
Yeah, but
Uh,
Set's only a villain in one book.
But he's really fun in the other books.
And Caligula is like so
Sucks.
slimy.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We said that was the list. We'll
Yeah,
revisit
you said
this.
you didn't ask yourself if you had any last words.
We'll revisit this later when we get to the Magnus case, and then you'll lose your Caligula bias.
Probably.
Right.
Probably, yeah, you're right. But I'll keep my Zeus bias.
Yeah.
That's been holding strong.
All right. Best real world locale, Apollo edition, Indianapolis, Southern California, the Bay Area. Nominee, New York City.
Probably number one.
No way.
I think
Brooklyn.
last or in between Indianapolis and Southern California.
I think last.
All right. I don't have strong
And
feelings.
also, if you want to
this.
just put Brooklyn, that might make more sense.
Yeah, it does,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
All
Because
right.
I'm like, if you compare New York City the way it was in Percy
Yeah.
Jackson, it's different.
Yeah. So speaking of which, best locale overall, starting at number 10, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Grand Canyon, Wolf House Ruins, Smithsonian, Egypt, Hoover Dam, St. Petersburg, Rome, New York City, Alaska.
This list is good. I have nothing to change.
Yeah.
I super agree.
Yeah, Apollo didn't make the cut when it comes to that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
And like, if we're thinking about frequency bias, the fact that I have feelings about every one of those 10 and had no feelings at all with the locations for the Apollo, like,
Yeah.
I think it's recency bias.
Yeah, you're thinking of recency bias.
Yes, that's what I meant. I mean,
Yeah.
frequency bias for New York City, maybe.
Yeah,
but-
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Alrighty. And before we get into the book rankings, we're going to take a break to hear from you, our feedback. If you want to send us reviews or ratings, you can go over to lovethepodcast.com/Riordan to get all the different ways to review and rate us. You can go on audible.com and leave a review. You can go on Apple Podcasts, leave a review. And now you can rate on Spotify, which is phenomenal. Also, please send us feedback at our podcast feedback@gmail.com, or comment on the YouTube version of the podcast, or tweet us at Ranking Riordan. Let's get into it. Olga, here's your reading time.
My reading time. So Lisa writes in, I love the podcast. My son and I have been listening to the Riordan books since they came out, and I was thrilled to find your discussions of them. We were not convinced we would love the Apollo books and their return to a first-person narrator, but we did, especially when the arrow of Dodona is talking, plaguey, plaguey, plaguey. The one comment I have is, how can you not have talked about the haiku chapter titles in each book? They are brilliant.
That was the main reason that I wanted to bring up this email is, if we're giving like an Apollo overall discussion, the haikus are a very welcome part of this whole thing. Yeah.
The little breath at the beginning of each chapter, setting things up and not giving too much away. Or you hear it and you're like, what does this really mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's a nice little tease.
Yeah. And then I think you should read the next two pieces of feedback back to back before we talk about them.
Yes. So Manas writes in my opinion, there could have been two different endings for Reyna and Tyrant's Tomb. First ending, she joins the Hunters and dates Thalia. Of course, this is where Artemis actually changes her mind about female-female relationships and allows it. Or second ending, where Rick actually specifies that Reyna is asexual and that she only wanted to be in a relationship because Venus put it in her mind that she needed to be in a relationship to be happy. Although this could be an ending, I prefer the first ending. I don't know why, but Reyna joining the Hunters and the conversation she had with Apollo just don't seem to relate.
Mm-hmm.
And relatedly, Ressa writes in via YouTube, Riordan had a tweet where he said he wrote Reyna as romantic asexual and that she was still figuring that out throughout her arc. Personally, I actually enjoyed that scene where Reyna laughed at Apollo's confession. It did not come across that Apollo/Lester were genuinely crushing on her. Mostly that he was offering to date her out of pity/wanting to solve Venus's prophecy. And I know this sounds awful, but I thought it was a good thing for Reyna to kick Apollo while he's down. It was a way to contrast all of his other rejection reactions because he's so beat up that he can't retaliate, transform Reyna, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And this gives Reyna a chance to finally chillax from her usual Praetor image.
All right, so we'll get to the laugh thing. Let's just talk about, him saying, and I found the tweet where he says, yes, I wrote her as romantic. How did he put it?
Romantic asexual.
asexual.
Okay, yeah.
So she's not a romantic.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he also said, I didn't make that textually explicit. You can read it how you want to read it. Thoughts about that?
Would have liked, especially for an identity like this that is, I would say, really not often given
Attention.
representation,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
would have liked this to be made explicit.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think that's good. That's good for him to write a character, and he could have had a few sentences in there. Maybe he thought his younger readers wouldn't like know the difference. He didn't want to get into like sexual versus romantic attractions, but and like I don't know, I could get that he would need to spend some time on that. But would have liked a bit more.
I think in
explicitness.
this series, it would have made sense to do that, though.
Yeah. Me too.
Given the other like themes of, frankly, given the violence of this series, I think that going into like, again, like LGBTQ plus rap is like, I mean, you already have like, you know, Apollo being bi, and obviously Will and Nico being important, and Lavinia being lesbian, like all these things are here. So like, you're not talking down to kids and young adults who very well could be like, again, finding themselves and learning about asexuality.
I also think you could just say asexual and never get into the romantic part, because it doesn't seem like he's going to deal with the romantic part. So I mean, and it does leave an interesting door open of, are we now supposed to read Thalia and Reyna as romantically but not sexually linked? Because
that's interesting.
Yeah, we don't really know, because I don't know how Thalia feels. Like, it's a little unclear.
Yeah.
I mean to say, I think he should have delved deeper into it, and I wonder whether he was just like, oh, that's really complicated. He does sort of shy away from these things, like with Nico, or even with Piper, where he's like, I don't want to overstep. I feel like that's sort of where he's at right now. And so then it's just well, I hope he writes a Hunters of Artemis book at some point with a co-author. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it jives for me exactly with her history, with how she's written, and how I don't know. I guess again, she's not aromantic, so she had feelings for Jason, and that is still, I guess, makes sense.
Well, I mean, I do think like if he wants these books to be able to be read in schools and stuff at certain age levels, like I do think getting into a real distinction between romantic and sexual attraction is going to start, like, you know, changing whether a middle school will read something. I feel like, you know, because there's the sort of like, oh, she loved Jason, right? Like there's like a sort of less, I don't know. Maybe this is all like, I don't know. I don't know whether he worries about things like censorship. I was on his website, and he has like a guide for how to navigate if like your school system won't teach The Lightning Thief, because it talks about Percy being a child outside of marriage. And so like Lightning Thief is running into that sort of censorship for that. And he's trying to do a lot of, I don't know.
I just think about, I guess I'm coming from our point of view in our school system, where like we read The Giver in middle school.
Totally. Yeah, no, you're right. I don't think it's a good, I don't think it's a good excuse. I can imagine that like holding him back or something. I don't know. I think he should write it. I think it would be really great for kids to understand what might be their own identity. I was pulling up my original text to you guys about this, because I knew I had specific things I wanted to say, and I did write, so Venus's whole thing is no demigod will heal your heart. That sounds a lot more aromantic than asexual to me.
Yes.
So it I don't know, it's a little weird.
It's like we know there's more subtext for it being asexuality, but those like scenes / those words themselves don't make sense with asexuality. So to me, this just really feels like Rick wanted to do this, realized he couldn't, like he couldn't do it in the way that he would have wanted, or that he would want, or with the right sensitivity, and just sort of backed away from it. Or he got scared because it is, but he doesn't seem scared by other things. So I don't know.
I also wrote, I still say that if she's figuring herself out, then she shouldn't make a lifelong decision. Then again, even if she doesn't know that she's asexual, making a vow of chastity probably doesn't feel like a big deal to her. So, I don't know. I'm a little conflicted at this point. I don't think he did a fantastic job of making his intention clear. And he says he's leaving it up to interpretation. But to me, that seems like a bit of a cop-out.
Dumbledore.
It just, I wasn't going to say a Dumbledore as much as I was going to say, sometimes you leave things ambiguous and it's good. Sometimes you leave things ambiguous and it's confusing.
Mhm.
And I feel like it was more confusing than it was like thought provoking.
Well, yeah, I also think it's unfortunate because, well, okay, so like we have the narrative of Piper figuring herself out and her sexuality out.
Yeah.
But with an identity that so many people are unfamiliar with to begin with, like, I don't think you can be sort of like, it's there if you can find it, really works.
I feel like it's interesting because I feel like you definitely were supposed to read her as like sexually flirtatious in previous books. Now, you could argue, oh, that's you as a reader bringing your own, like, you know, sexual opinions or whatever into it. Or you could argue, oh, she's trying to be flirtatious because that's what thinks she's supposed to be. But again, it comes back to Venus, the healing the heart. Like, it feels, again, Venus is also a sexuality goddess, but the wording of that, I think, like, she could have said, like, no demigod will make you whole or something like that. I just think it was weird wording there, and
it feels a bit like a reimagining of Heroes of Olympus Reyna.
Yeah. When we end Heroes of Olympus and we do like underline what is this going to mean going forward with Venus, and she talks to Piper at the very end, I don't personally feel like he was setting this up, or that I don't necessarily buy that he even had this in mind when he wrote that. But I wouldn't be surprised if he planned for her to be gay and Piper that wasn't in the cards yet. But
it's hard to, this is difficult conjecture. I just feel like there was mixed messaging and it wasn't quite as polished as I think it should have been for that being his intention. Yeah.
Do we want to say anything about the other part of this, which is the, you know, kicking Apollo while he's down and all that?
I don't enjoy it personally. I don't really, it does not track for me personally.
Yeah.
Me neither. But I mean, and we've said a lot about it.
I appreciate the varying point of view.
I'm glad that it worked for readers, and that, you know, just because the three of us didn't enjoy it, that it found its audience. I'm happy about that.
And I agree with the idea of it showing a high contrast to how he's handled rejections in the past. I just don't think, I think you could have done that without her being that mean about it.
I just think Reyna in general was just really poorly handled.
Which
in
is
a way
bad.
that we bumped her down. She's like one of the only people who we bumped down.
Tyrant's Tomb, I don't know if that'll,
we'll see.
We'll see.
Well, actually, we'll see right now. Yes. So now we are going into ranking the actual books, and I have to go away from my texts and back to the outline. So here we are, ranking the books at number 17 going down. The Hidden Oracle, The Sea of Monsters, The Blood of Olympus, The Red Pyramid, The Lightning Thief, The Titan's Curse, The Lost Hero, and now we're in the top 10. The Son of Neptune, The Battle of the Labyrinth, The Serpent's Shadow, The Tyrant's Tomb, The Burning Maze, The Throne of Fire, The Last Olympian, The Mark of Athena, The Dark Prophecy, and The House of Hades.
So you people, I'm sorry, Clara, I feel the need to say this. I have a confession to make.
You hate us.
No, you've worn me down. You two, with your exhausting
lightning thief
apologism, have converted me. I believe it should be in the top 10.
I think it should be number 10.
This is so funny. So, like, a peek behind the scenes is that Dan has shared his suggested rankings. So I was looking at it and I made my suggested rankings. And I thought there were so few chances of the Lightning Thief significantly moving up that it's not in my top 10.
Did I throw a wrench into your plan? This is why I didn't actually bother making a new list, because I knew that.
How do we want to go about this? Do we want to start at number 1 and go backwards from there?
Probably.
I think so. I think that's the best way to do it.
All right. I think we all still agree that House of Hades and Dark Prophecy are number 1 and number 2.
I am okay with Dark Prophecy being number 2. For me personally, I would actually have Tower of Nero there. But
at number 2, not number 1.
At number 2.
All right. I assume Olga does not agree.
I think that I'm okay with this. I think Dark Prophecy overall is, I want Dark Prophecy to stay at number 2.
Okay.
That's fine. That is okay. I have those as slash for me.
So does that mean you're on board for Tower of Nero as number 3?
Correct.
I am actually okay with Mark of Athena being 3 and Tower of Nero being 4.
I would concede that.
Okay, I'm on board with that. I will say on my personal list, so people know, Tower of Nero is number 7, but I'm okay with this.
I think Tower of Nero deserves to be high.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
So then we're going into Last Olympian.
Yes.
We're happy with that.
Yes.
I must.
Right.
I must insist.
On my personal list, I have the Throne of Fire. No, I don't. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I have Throne of Fire. I have Throne of Fire above the Last Olympian, but I'm okay.
All right, now, what do we think about Burning Maze versus Throne of Fire?
I think that I like where this is.
Okay. I like where this is, too.
All right, so Throne of Fire and then Burning Maze.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we currently have Tyrant's Tomb. Do we want to keep that there?
Yeah, I think it should be knocked out of the top 10.
Oh,
I think so, too.
Okay. All right. So what do we think should go after Burning Maze?
Serpent Shadow.
I am going to argue for Battle of the Labyrinth.
Okay, can I throw a wrench in things a little bit?
Ooh,
okay.
yeah.
I think we should move Blood of Olympus up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think it should either be Blood of Olympus or Serpent Shadow next.
I think the Battle of the Labyrinth and Lightning Thief should be the ones after Burning Maze. So I don't think Serpent Shadow or Blood of Olympus should go above Lightning Thief.
Okay, I'm good with that. Again, I did not account for this.
Yeah.
So let's put Lightning Thief next.
I'm okay with that.
After Burning Maze?
Yeah.
I don't think I agree with that.
Okay, then what do you want?
I think that Serpent Shadow should be next.
I think Serpent Shadow, you guys are way overrating, but...
Yeah, I'm remembering how slow the first half of it
Okay, you're right. But in that case, Dan, did you want Battle of the Labyrinth there?
I had I had Tyrant's Tomb just because I didn't think it would move. But
right. No,
I want Battle of the Labyrinth next.
The more I'm thinking about it, I think you're right. Battle of the Labyrinth was really good.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That's very high on my list.
And then Lightning Thief.
So putting Lightning Thief at 9.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then I would say Blood of Olympus.
I agree.
Okay. I guess I'm misremembering Serpent Shadow if you guys are like, so...
you really like Serpent Shadow.
I really like Serpent Shadow. I've already conceded the Lightning Thief being 9 and not 10. I said it would be in the top 10 thinking it would be 10, but
What if we... I don't agree with this, but I'm willing to concede putting Serpent Shadow between Lightning Thief and Battle of the Labyrinth.
Oh, I'd be happy to just put Serpent Shadow below Lightning Thief at this point. I just don't think that Blood of Olympus should be above Serpent Shadow.
Think about how many best moments we have in Blood of Olympus.
So many.
I agree, but as an overall piece...
Serpent Shadow is below Blood of Olympus, I think. It was lagging, and it was for much more of the book than the weirdness of the end of Blood. And I agree, it was like higher stakes end of Blood of the Blood of Olympus.
I'm torn because I think Serpent Shadow is a better end of a series than Blood of Olympus is an end of a series, but I think Blood of Olympus is a better book.
All right, it's fine. Let's do it. Let's do Blood of Olympus.
As number 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Serpent Shadow.
Okay, yes. I'm on board with that.
And then Son of Neptune.
Okay.
And everything else, I think, if we just remove our now moved up things.
Yes, I agree.
So then we go Lost Hero, Titan's Curse, Red Pyramid.
Oh, did you cut the Tyrant's Tomb?
Oh yeah, where are we putting the Tyrant's Doom?
Oh yeah, shoot.
Yeah,
Are we
can you
putting
undo?
that? Do we put that above or below Son of Neptune?
Below.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
All right.
Okay, whoa.
The new list.
This is a shakeup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hidden Oracle, Sea of Monsters, Red Pyramid, Titan's Curse, Lost Hero, Tyrant's Tomb, Son of Neptune, Serpent's Shadow, Blood of Olympus, and Blood of Olympus is number 10, so this is the top 10.
Yes.
Blood of Olympus, Lightning Thief, Battle of the Labyrinth, Burning Maze, Throne of Fire, Last Olympian, Tower of Nero, Mark of Athena, Dark Prophecy, House of Hades.
Boom.
I'm pretty
That's a
happy
good
with
list.
that.
This is a good list.
This feels right, you guys. This
Rick-
is right. This doesn't make me sad to look at.
Yeah, I think all of us walked away sad last time we did it, being like, well, it's going to change.
If we just swapped...
No.
Yeah, no,
You're
okay.
done. You read it.
All right.
Stop looking at it.
As a joint list, I think it is quite good.
There we go.
Yeah.
3 opinions.
Yes.
3 folks' opinions.
All righty, and that brings this period to an end.
Aw.
No more Apollo talk ever again. So thank you guys so much for listening to our rankings. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're mad at it. And please write in and rate and all that stuff.
May the gods
Be ever in your favor.
Yay.